Hey everyone, today we're talking about something people hate to admit. You're not spending on luxury, you're not buying gadgets, you're not even eating out that much. But somehow, your money still disappears. And the leak, it starts in your kitchen. It starts with the fridge light flicking on at 10:46 p.m. You're not hungry. You're just searching for something that feels like control. It's the extra order of takeout you tell yourself you deserve. The $7 smoothies that were supposed to be healthy. The groceries you swore you'd cook, but never did. You don't overspend because you're careless. You overspend because you're exhausted. Because the kitchen stopped being a place of nourishment and started becoming a place of negotiation. And if you think financial stress is about money, maybe you haven't realized it's mostly about shame. Like the video and subscribe, but only if you're tired of hearing sugar-coated advice. Drop a comment with where you're tuning in from and how much you've saved this month, if any. Now take a breath, mute the noise around you, and let's start this one quietly. It's not the big purchases, it's the quiet daily swipes that drain you. You think your money's disappearing because of one big mistake, but it's not. It's not the $900 TV you didn't buy. It's not the trip you never took. It's not even the maybe one day AirPods you still haven't clicked buy on. It's the $14 pad thai you didn't plan for, the $6 iced coffee because you were tired, the $19 DoorDash because you didn't want to deal with dishes, and the groceries $117 worth of intention that turned into compost. It's not dramatic. It's quiet. So quiet you don't even notice the bleeding until the month's over and your account looks like it's been drained by a ghost. You look at the numbers and feel confused. Then you feel ashamed. And then you do it again. Because here's the trap. Food spending feels harmless. It's small. It's normal. It feels like the one part of your day you can control. Except it's not control. It's coping. This isn't about budgeting apps. This isn't about spreadsheets. This is about the stories you've tied to eating. You tell yourself it's just a little extra. I'll eat out less next week. I deserve this. You deserve peace, not a $21 Uber Eats order that leaves you feeling bloated, tired, and guilty. You scroll through your bank app at night. All those little charges blur together. But your brain remembers each one like a memory of relief. That chicken sandwich after a stressful Zoom call. That grocery haul you meant to cook with but didn't have the energy for. That meal you ordered instead of breaking down. No one talks about how food is the one expense that disguises itself as emotional first aid. And like any form of false comfort, it adds up. $12 here, $18 there. Multiply that by 25 days a month, and that's $450 you don't even remember choosing. Your budget isn't broken because you don't know how to save. It's broken because you're soothing with spending, not recklessly, but quietly. Like a slow leak behind the wall. You only see the damage when the paint starts to peel. This part of your life doesn't need shame. It needs clarity. So let's stop asking, why am I bad with money, and start asking, what am I using money to avoid feeling right now? Because when you name that, you begin to see clearly. And when you see clearly, you begin to spend differently. Not out of guilt, but out of grounded choice. You've had a hard day, so you order something soft, warm, and 32. You tell yourself it's a reward. You worked late. You didn't yell when your boss dumped another project on you. You held it together when the house was a mess, when your kid wouldn't listen, when the loneliness hit hard at 6 p.m. So you deserve it. The takeout, the bakery run, the overpriced healthy lunch you grab because cooking feels like punishment. But here's the truth no one wants to admit. Most of your I deserve this purchases come from pain, not joy. You're not celebrating, you're coping. The soft burrito in foil isn't nourishment, it's silence. It's a way to not think, not feel, not fall apart. You spend like it's therapy, because actual therapy costs more than you think you can afford. But here's the trap. Emotional spending is a short-term treatment with a long-term bill. You think you're paying for food, but what you're actually buying is permission to feel okay for a moment. And when the moment's gone, you're left with the same emotions, plus a little more financial pressure than before. You didn't grow up with luxury. You didn't learn that comfort could come without cost. So now you reach for the easiest version of relief, a plate, a wrapper, a warm box at your doorstep. You're not weak. You're exhausted. You're doing what you know how to do, filling the emptiness with something chewable. But here's where it gets expensive. When you keep buying relief, you stop building peace. Real peace doesn't arrive in a delivery bag. It doesn't come with extra dipping sauce. It's built slowly by learning to sit with discomfort without numbing it. Try this. Next time you hear the voice that says, I deserve it. Pause. Ask yourself, do I want this food or do I want to feel better? If it's the food, eat it. Enjoy it. But if it's the feeling, give yourself 5 minutes. Step outside, journal, take a shower, cry. Let it pass not because you're strong, but because you're learning. You can still treat yourself, but know what you're actually treating. Because self-care that ends in overdraft fees isn't care. It's sabotage with a smile. You don't have to give up food that brings you joy. But the next time you say, I deserve this, make sure you actually mean it and not just survive with it. I didn't stop eating, I stopped deciding. People assume saving money in the kitchen means cutting joy, skipping meals, eating bland, counting calories or coupon codes. But the truth is I didn't save $500 by eating less. I saved it by choosing less. Because what broke my bank account wasn't the food. It was the daily indecision. What should I eat? Do I have time to cook? Do I even have groceries? Should I just order something? That mental loop day after day drained more than money. It drained my patience, my energy, my trust in myself. Until one day I tried something different. I cooked 5 meals. On Sunday, put them in containers. Labeled, stacked, done. Not perfect meals, not Pinterest ready, just food that was already decided. And suddenly my whole week got quieter. I didn't open the fridge looking for answers. I opened it and the answer was already there. It wasn't about meal prep. It was about taking one chaotic part of my life and making it still. No more $14 sandwich because I forgot lunch. No more dinner panic that led to $28 of guilt. No more spending because I was tired and tired made me reckless. People talk about budgeting like it's a war against pleasure. But sometimes budgeting is just removing decisions before they can cost you. I learned that I wasn't undisciplined. I was just overwhelmed. And food messy, urgent, emotional had become the place where all that stress piled up. So this one-act prepping in advance wasn't just about saving money. It was about creating space. Room to feel calm again. You won't save $500 overnight. But you might stop that 6 p.m. anxiety spiral that ends in bad takeout and worse sleep. And that's worth more than any number in your bank app. Try it. Pick one meal, just one, and make it ahead. You're not becoming a different person. You're just choosing to feel a little more powerful when the day tries to knock you down. Saving starts there, not with rules, but with relief. It looked like a regular rice cooker, but it rewired my spending. Here's something people never tell you. Sometimes the thing that saves you money isn't a cut. It's a purchase. I used to think I just needed to try harder, be more disciplined, cook more, waste less. But every time I opened my cabinet and saw my dull knives, scratched pans, and that clunky pot that always burned rice, I gave up. Because cooking didn't feel empowering. It felt like a chore with bad tools. And then I bought a $20 rice cooker. Small. Nothing fancy. Just a basic one-button model with a warm setting. And that one little machine changed my relationship with my kitchen. Suddenly I wasn't deciding what to eat at 6 p.m. I was scooping out warm rice that had cooked itself while I worked. I threw in frozen veggies, some pre-marinated tofu. Boom, dinner in under 10 minutes. No Postmates, no guilt. It wasn't gourmet, it was done, and that made all the difference. The first week I used it, I skipped takeout 4 times. That's $68 saved already, more than what I paid for the tool. But the real shift wasn't the savings. It was this. For the first time, I didn't feel like I was failing in the kitchen. I felt like I was winning. Because tools matter. You wouldn't blame a mechanic for not fixing your car if they only had a spoon. So why do you blame yourself for not cooking when your kitchen is working against you? Investing in that rice cooker wasn't about becoming a chef. It was about removing resistance. Making it easier to say yes to a $2 meal instead of a $22 one. So here's the lesson. Don't ask what should I cut. Ask what would make this easier to keep doing. Because when you remove friction, consistency becomes automatic. And when you're consistent, you don't have to rely on willpower anymore. Want to save $500 a month? Sometimes it starts with a $27 button. You want to cook, but the dishes stare at you like enemies. Nobody talks about the emotional weight of your kitchen. It's not just about ingredients. It's not just time. It's the quiet dread that starts before you even open the fridge. You tell yourself I should cook tonight, but the counter's cluttered, the sink's full, the cutting board smells like last week's garlic. And suddenly, you're tired. Not just tired in your body, tired in your soul. Because cooking the thing that's supposed to ground you now feels like punishment. Like another obligation on a long list of unpaid emotional labor. You want to save money, you really do. But no one's explaining what it actually costs to make a meal when you're mentally done. When you're parenting, working, healing, surviving. So you order in again. You tell yourself just this once, but it never is. The shame builds. The guilt sets in. You promise yourself tomorrow will be different, and it rarely is. But here's something I had to learn the hard way. The problem wasn't me. It was the battlefield I was walking into every night. See, no one wants to cook in a war zone. And that's what my kitchen had become: cluttered, overwhelming, hostile. So I made a rule: no cooking in chaos. If the sink's full, I clean it first. If the counters are dirty, I wipe them down. Not to be perfect, but to make space. Cooking didn't need to be gourmet. It needed to be peaceful. So I started building that peace 10 minutes at a time. Each night I cleaned for tomorrow, not for Instagram. The next day, I walked into a kitchen that invited me to cook. Not pressured me, not guilted me, just invited me. And slowly I started saving without trying, because the mental wall was gone, and the path to cooking felt open. Here's what I know now. Your ability to save money is tied to your environment, not your willpower. If your kitchen feels like punishment, you'll run from it. If it feels like possibility, you'll return. So start there. Not with recipes, not with rules. Start by making your kitchen feel like a place you want to stand in again, even if all you make is toast. Because when your kitchen stops being a fight, your finances start to heal. The money I saved was real, but what I really gained was clarity. Let's be honest, saving $500 a month sounds impressive, and it is. But it didn't come from cutting everything I loved. It came from changing my relationship with food fatigue and false comfort. It came from noticing the $12 leaks, from pausing at the "I deserve it" moments, from deciding ahead of time instead of reacting in the moment. And it came from one small tool and a shift in how I saw my kitchen, not as a battlefield, but as a quiet ally. When you fix your kitchen habits, you're not just fixing what you eat. You're fixing the loop that kept you stuck emotionally and financially. And when that loop breaks, that's when real savings start to appear. What's one habit in your kitchen you could change this week? Tell me in the comments what's been your biggest food spending trap. Is it takeout groceries that go bad, or just decision fatigue? Let's talk about it quietly without shame. And if you've made one small shift that worked, share it. You might help someone else save their next $500. Like the video and subscribe, but only if you're tired of the fake money advice. One quiet decision in the kitchen can echo across your whole financial life. You don't have to transform everything overnight. You don't need a perfect plan, or fancy cookware, or endless motivation. You just need one small win. Clean the counter. Prep one meal. Buy one tool that makes your life easier. Say no to takeout once, not to punish yourself, but to practice power. This isn't about deprivation. It's about direction. And when you walk that direction slowly, consistently, and quietly, the savings show up. So take a breath. Look at your kitchen like it's not the enemy, and take one small step toward clarity. That's all for now. The rest is yours to feel.